Paul Byrd will face the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the White Sox in the 5th. A tie game. Creedy first up. Not only has Creedy come up with some big hits and he has an RBI sac fly tonight, but he's played a very good third base for Chicago in this series.
Excellent.
From Westphalia, Missouri, he takes it down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, talking to Ozzie Guillen, talking about the good pitching he has.
Here's a test for Figgins, who gets it with a backhand. 1 out.
But he gives a lot of credit to the White Sox defense for the good pitching that they have. And you look at their baseball team, they've got above average defenders at every position.
And Guillen was known for his defense when he played for 13 years with the White Sox, and then ended up bouncing around a little at the end of his career. Finished with Bobby Cox and the Atlanta Braves. With 1 out, here's Uribe, and there's a ball up and in.
Now, Ozzie was a character as a player, and he's still a character as a manager.
The owner of the White Sox, Jerry Reinsdorf, calls him the Hispanic Jackie Mason.
Here's a pitch down and in. 2-0 on Uribe.
I mean, you start looking forward to the meetings with him. He's hilarious. Not a tight bone in his body.
Here's a 2-0 with 1 out. Uribe takes the strike. Played with the White Sox from 85 to 97. That's hard hit and past Figgins down the line. Uribe will end up at second base. The throw there. Uribe is safe as he gets around the tag of Adam Kennedy.
What a great slide by Uribe. That was a changeup by Paul Byrd, fielded quickly by Rivera.
What a great throw by Rivera.
Yeah, it was.
Now anytime there's a close play, you wait for the replay. And according to Jerry Crawford, the right hand of Uribe got on the bag before the tag. Then the left hand ends up on the base, out at second. Uribe is there, 1 out. And the batter is Podsednik. Strike 1. Strikeout, a ground out tonight, and he is doing what the Angels need Sean Figgins to do in this series. Get on base, make things happen, steal a base. Podsednik scored 4 runs. Figgins has yet to touch home plate. Figgins 1 for 15 in this series. 1 ball, 1 strike on Podsednik. The 1-1. Way outside. 2-1 with a Gucci on deck.
I think Juan Rivera is too deep in left field. Scott Podsednik had no home runs this year, 2 triples. And the one thing you do not want is an opposite field flare to fall in front of you if you're the left fielder.
Two and two.
When I'm managing and you got a runner in scoring position, I always have my coaches instructed, take a look at the base runner, make sure he's not doing anything different to alert the hitter what's coming.
Right now, Uribe is out there. Podsednik is at the plate. Uribe, Cabrera, and Byrd all looking at the sign flashed by Benji Molina. Looks like Podsednik's trying to go the opposite way, and the count's still 2-2.
He's a line drive hitter, and when you hit the ball the other way, you use your arms. When you pull the ball, you use your body and your arms. That's why you can afford to play shallow in the opposite field, particularly for a guy with not a lot of power.
Plus, Podsednik is off deeper in the batter's box, further away from home plate.
2-2. Another one fouled off to the left. You saw Shields getting loose for the Angels out in their bullpen. Regular season, you wouldn't even think about it, but Bird is approaching 70 pitches on the night. He's pitched well, but there is no margin for error. Two again from Bird. And he can't put Podsednik away. Only 25 RBIs for the leadoff hitter for the White Sox, Podsednik, during the regular season. He homered against the Red Sox in Game 1 of the division series after going over 500 at-bats during the regular season without going deep. Not close, full count.
Tried the backdoor breaking ball there and got away from it.
Ninth pitch of the at-bat coming to Podsednik. Podsednik works a walk, and he did work for it. 2 on, 1 out. First walk handed out by Bird, and we look ahead to tomorrow night. Game 5 of the NLCS between the Cardinals and the Astros in a rematch, as Chris Carpenter will make the start. A front runner for the Cy Young Award. He'll be on the mound for St. Louis, and Andy Pettitte will go for the Astros. That's tomorrow at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific here on Fox. And the Cardinals trying to win to get the series back to St. Louis. If the Astros win tomorrow night, not only are they in the World Series, but the current Busch Stadium will have seen its last baseball game. It'll come down 2 weeks after the Cardinals are finished this year, however deep they go into the playoffs. Here's Iguchi. A double, a walk, 1 out. And Shields is ready to go if the Angels want to tap him on the shoulder here in the 5th. Off balance, Iguchi pops it up. Rivera is there for out number 2. And now it's Dye.
Excuse me, Joe, you think about how difficult it is to hit, and that left shoulder flying out of Iguchi while the slider's going away. There's no way to put solid contact on it. The slider goes away, the shoulder pulls out.
Yeah, a little bit of a quick hip, too, front hip.
2 on, 2 out. Dye could put the White Sox back on top. That's into left center field, and he has done just that. Rivera cuts it off, a run scores, and the White Sox are up 2-1. A 2-out base hit by Jermaine Dye, and Chicago regains the lead here in the 5th.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Shields in the ball game right now.
That's exactly what's happening as Jermaine Dye puts the White Sox on top, and had Cabrera come up throwing, they have a shot at Dye at second base. Uribe scoring the go-ahead run.
So the Angels facing elimination tonight. See Bird get into the 5th. He leaves with 2 outs in the inning, and the White Sox lead 2-1. Here is Scott Shields. He's thrown just under 10 innings this postseason in 7 games. He has a rubber arm, and he is so valuable now picking up for Bird here in the 5th inning. The White Sox have regained the lead, have second and third, 2 out, and Konerko up, and he takes the ball.
Yeah, Mike Scioscia obviously liked this matchup better. Shields with more velocity.
After making the change, Scioscia stayed out there for a moment to talk about the situation. First base is open. Canerco waits for a 1-0 and hits it in the air to left. Rivera is back at the track just in front of it to end the inning. The fans here at Angel Stadium held their breath as that ball fell short and into the glove of Rivera. Uribe started the rally with a one-out double. Jermaine Dye put Chicago back on top with a 2-out RBI double. 2-1 Chicago after 4.5. Contreras and the White Sox have the lead again. It's 2-1, bottom of the fifth. 9-1-2 for the Angels. Kennedy, Figgins, and Cabrera. If anybody gets on, Anderson. Game 5. White Sox up 3-1, and the count goes to 2-0 on Kennedy. An RBI hit for Adam his first time up. Three and 0. Three and 1.
I think with a guy like Kennedy up there, you may see him take 3 and 1 also. Make Contreras throw 3 strikes in a row.
Full count.
Scratch that, thinking. Some analysis, huh?
That was stellar.
Thanks, Jeff.
On 3 and 2, Contreras, Kennedy, Creedy, tough play. A hop, a throw, a hit.
Joe Creedy with too much to do. Ball's going to his right. He goes to his right. Jumps, throws, too much to do in too little time.
I wouldn't be too much of a hurry to bunt this guy over here now. Figgins is a pretty darn good hitter. Even though he struggled, the chances of him hitting into a double play are very, very small. You know, I know in postseason managers get conservative, but boy, I'll tell you this, I would take my chances with Figgins swinging the bat here.
Figgins is 1 for 15 in this series. And he does not tip his hand early if he's going to bunt. He never squared around as Contreras threw over.
I think it would be a major surprise if he doesn't bunt here. The way he's been swinging the bats.
Let's see how Socia wants to play it. Hit and run. Figgins into right. Down the line. A hop. It's interfered with by a fan. And that takes a run off the board. A fan reached over, and Mike Socia, here we go again, is going to run out and argue that that cost, with that fan interference, the Angels a run. And had that stayed in play, there is no doubt that Kennedy would have scored. Now the umpires are going to get together, and we'll see if, in the umpire's discretion, they give Kennedy home plate. It's a tie game. The Angels get a call, mark it down, here in the 5th inning of Game 5. And Lou Piniella, you said to keep aggressive, stay aggressive, and that's even more than you were calling for. That was a hit and run double into right.
Good play by Socia. Why change the things that you've been doing all year? Now, the only thing I question, they gave the runner home plate, and rightfully so. Figgins would have had an easy triple on that ball.
And there's no doubt that that fan reached over and in front of that small wall down the right field line interfered with it. Kennedy would have scored easily.
Particularly with the circular, with the cutout right there in right field. Ball's not going to come back to Jermaine Dye. Right back to him. It's going to rattle around. Kennedy would have scored easily. Good call, Lou.
And so now with Figgins the go-ahead run at second, nobody out, You've got Cabrera at the plate.
Now do you bunt?
I bunt here.
And so does Socia as Cabrera takes a ball low. The other side of this is you've got a guy in Cabrera who came into this game hitting .432 in his career in the postseason with runners on. He's one guy who does not appear intimidated by the glare of the spotlight in October. At first pitch, he showed bunt. It's 2-0.
He's getting himself into a good hitter's count here.
Updated to .421. Cabrera's average in the postseason with a man on. And in this case, Figgins is already in scoring position.
You know, they're not holding Figgins on too much.
Now they swing, and Cabrera chops it to Iguchi. Good play. Terrific play by Iguchi, and Cabrera advances Figgins to third, one down.
Good baseball.
Good play by Iguchi in one motion. Throws out Cabrera. Now the White Sox have to bring their infield in.
We go back to that ball down the line and give you a two-box look at it. Kennedy was over halfway to third when the fan reached over and interfered, and then it's up to the umpire, and they awarded Kennedy home plate to tie it. Now it's Figgins at third, one out, as the Angels try to take their first lead of the night. It's up to Garrett Anderson with the infield in.
I think they go on contact here.
Strike one from Contreras.
Even with the infield in.
Even with Guerrero on deck. Because the way Guerrero's swinging the bat.
This postseason, Garrett Anderson 3 for 4 with runners in scoring position. That bounces in there, and what a terrific play by Pierzynski as he turned himself into a wall.
An A.J. Wall. For those of you who may not know what going on contact is, if you're the runner on at third base, you've got to cheat home, land on your right foot with the ball's in the hitting area, and go home on a ground ball. Anything in the air, you retreat to third.
Figgins with great speed at third. A 1-1 pitch. Not close.
Yeah, he's as quick a base runner as there is in the American League, and probably in all of baseball.
Rain starts to fall again. 2 balls and a strike. Go ahead run at third for the Angels. 1 out. Good pitch from Contreras. Pulled the string, and Anderson evens the count 2-2.
Anderson way out in front of a ball out of a strike zone.
Yeah, in this situation here, look, Garrett's a very professional hitter. Trying to stay up the middle, left field with the ball. Stay on it as long as you can.
And he shoots one into right field. Deep enough to get Figgins home. And the Angels will take the lead. Facing elimination here in Game 5. They're on top in the 5th.
Now that's given the fans something to cheer about.
For the Angels, it's their first lead since they won Game 1. Thanks to the dominant pitching from the Chicago White Sox.
Missing, and then the count 1-1. The forkball misses, and on the 2-2 pitch, he puts the Angels ahead.
Now 2 out, nobody on for Guerrero. 0-2.
I like that swing. He's struggling, but he's still aggressive.
And messed up. He is messed up.
Good hop on that fastball, up and out of the zone. 1-2 from Contreras. His career average, Guerrero's .324 during the regular season. $1.88 in the postseason. Only 9 career postseason hits, one of which left the park. 2-2. So here are the Angels. They're in their bullpen. They've got Shields in the game. They've got Escobar ready for a long night. They've got Frankie Rodriguez ready for extra innings tonight if need be. And they lead in the bottom of the 5th 3-2, trying to get this series back to Chicago. Another ground ball off the bat of Guerrero. And the inning is over, but not before the Angels take their first lead. A leadoff hit by Kennedy, who has now driven in a run and scored a run. An RBI double by Figgins, who helps out. And Anderson puts the Angels on top with a sac fly. 3-2 after 5. Still raining here in Southern California. Game 5, 6th inning, and Shields is back to the hill. And Everett, a swing and a miss. The combination for Socia figures to be Shields now. Escobar setting up Francisco Rodriguez, and Escobar is starting to get loose out in the pen for the Angels. 0-2 on Everett.
Socia made a very timely pitching change in that 5th inning. It really paid off for him.
After the double by Dye, he went out and got Bird, and Shields got Konerko on a deep fly to left. Foul by Everett. Our WebMD health update will be coming, and that centers around Bartolo Colon and the muscle in his right shoulder. You wonder what this series would be like were Bartolo Colon healthy, but he is unavailable and probably will be for the rest of this postseason. Everett grounds to first. Erstad with a backhand pickup. One away. You can check out your own symptoms as well as learn more about common sports injuries at symptom.webmd.com. One out in the 6th.
We've talked about the good shortstop, middle infield play in this series, but boy, I'll tell you, both Konerko and Erstad have done a wonderful job defensively at first base.
Erstad has done that throughout the postseason. If you consider the play he made to end the division series on the diving stop to his right to get Matsui and wrap up that set. Here's Rowand, and there's a ball.
Lou, you talked about that change the last inning. There's such a disparity between Paul Bird and an 87-mile-an-hour fastball and Scott Shields, who throws 94 and 95. Two completely different pitches.
In postseason, I like velocity.
We touched on that last night, that you would take the power pitcher in the postseason as opposed to the finesse guy.
Yeah, remember, it's middle of October. These guys have played a 162-game schedule. They've traveled across country a few times. The bats start getting just a little tired.
To his left, Kennedy. 2 down. We go back to the 2 starters, and during this LCS, we've taken a look at how the starting pitchers have held up velocity-wise with the ExxonMobil Speed Pass Speed comparison. Contreras has hit 95. Bird tops out. That's Paul Bird, 86 miles per hour, as hard as he threw in the 3rd inning. But still effective, and he got into the 5th, kept his team in it. And now with Shields on the mound, the Angels lead against Contreras. Here's Brzezinski. Ball 1.
That was a decoy on that take. A lot of times hitters who are looking to pump the ball out of the ballpark will come up there and be so nonchalant, then be swinging on the 2nd pitch.
He is here, and the count evens 1-1. Strike 2. Pierzynski checked it. 2-2.
Watch Benji Molina after the curveball in the dirt. Not only asking third base umpire to check, but he was ready to tag Pierzynski.
Now at 2-2. Tailing pitch, and Shields started to head off the mound. It's a full count. Shields thought he had him.
Yeah, he drives that fastball in off the plate that works itself over the inside corner.
With 2 out, 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball gets him.
And he knew it.
Shields doing his usual fine work. He snaps one off. Gets Pierzynski. What a pitch. Bottom of the 6th inning. Angels bat leading by 1. Bottom of the 6th inning, Angels bat up by a run, down by 2 games, and there's ALCS, and Erstad pops it up. Shallow right, and Dye is there for Chicago, 1 down. In the middle of the 5th, we had a chance to visit with Don Cooper, the pitching coach for the White Sox. Well, Don Cooper, you have your big horse on the mound, Jose Contreras. What do you see so far? Do you like what you see?
Yeah, so far so good. He's throwing a lot of strikes, and that's what we always look for from him. Seems to be commanding his fastball pretty good, and when he does that, he's always in a position to throw his forkball.
We talked to Ozzie, and he's not concerned, or at least he wouldn't admit it, about guys coming out of your bullpen that haven't had work in so long. Are you concerned at all about that in a tight game?
Not really. I mean, you know, the big concern was the other day with Garland getting 12 days. The bottom line is, however, you're going to have a lot of energy, and you got to harness that energy. And that energy is a good thing. And if you can harness it and drive it to the glove, it could be an unbeatable combination.
Well, last question. Tell me how your pitching has been able to shut down Vladimir Guerrero.
Quality pitches, you know, and maybe we caught them at the right time, but, you know, that combined with our pitching staff and what they're doing with the amount of quality pitches, that's the key.
Carl Everett's awfully playful down there, isn't he?
Yeah, I wasn't sure who it was.
That was Everett.
Yeah, well, Widge was grabbing onto me, too.
Well, thanks for your time.
All right, guys.
The playful side of Carl Everett came out in the 5th inning, and now with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th, it's a 1-2 count on Benji Molina.
The White Sox pitchers have done a nice job of pitching Molina, staying away from him.
This one is there to hit, and Molina hits it on a line to punch Sednick. 2 out. Let's go down to Chris Myers, who's standing in the rain.
It's just drizzling slightly. I talked to Benji and Jose Molina before the game, and Benji's elbow is still bothering him, especially when he extends his arm when swinging the bat. He's wearing extra padding there, some Advil and a special wrap. But Jose told me that his mother called him from Puerto Rico last night, said she was mad at Jose and Benji, telling him, you guys need to get on base, you need to score runs. Jose said, thanks, Mom.
With 2 out and nobody on, here's Casey Kochman. And I'm sure that call could be made to Yadier Molina, the Cardinals' 23-year-old catcher, and the same message would be delivered that they need to get guys on base and get some runs.
Reminds me when I managed in Tampa Bay, my mom would watch the ball games and call me and help me to manage after the ball game.
Really? Pitching moves?
Pitching moves. Bunts.
Back after this from your local Fox station. Seventh inning, 8-9-1 for the White Sox. Preedy, Uribe, and Podsednik against the 3rd pitcher of the night for the Angels, Calvin Escobar.
Loser of game 2 on the split finger fastball to who else? Joe Preedy.
And he leads it off, ready to rip. Strike 1. After the controversy, which happened here, the stolen base by Pablo Ozuna. And with 2 strikes, Preedy hit a double. And the series was even at 1-1, and now he shoots one to left. In the air and gone to tie this game. Creedy goes deep in the 7th, and it's 3-3. Creedy jumps up and bites Escobar yet again.
That appeared to be the same pitch.
I think this was a fastball.
Do you? Same location.
Same location.
Wow. Creedy has tied it with his 2nd home run of this postseason. And that gives him 7 RBIs.
That was a fastball.
And that was pounded. Ooh. Here's a 1-0 to Uribe. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Boy, did he turn on that inside fastball.
Good-looking young player. Getting better and better.
Now Orlando El Duque Hernandez is getting loose for the White Sox as Uribe is in the hole 1-2. Shields went an inning and a third, all zeros except 1 strikeout. Escobar comes in and gives up a leadoff home run to Creedy. Now a 1-2. Uribe is gone. 1 away.
Good fastball to tie up Uribe.
Now back to the top of the order for Chicago. Podsednik is up with Iguchi next. The Angels will have Rivera, Kennedy, and Figgins, the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, in their half of this 7th. Infield in on the corners. Podsednik takes a ball.
But Sednick gets on here. He can run on Escobar with that big leg kick.
Too far inside, 2-0. Showing bunt, takes strike 1. On base percentage for Podsednik in this series is .424. Not close, 3-1. In this series, the bullpen work done by the Angels over 17 innings, and we've been talking about the 2/3 put up by the White Sox way back in Game 1. That's low, and that's a 1-out walk. Go-ahead run is on for the White Sox in the 7th.
Bud Black out to talk to Escobar. I'll tell you what was strange about that sequence was that 2-1 pitch. 3 fastballs ran the count to 2-1. And it looked like a splitter on that 2-1 count, and then he missed with the 3-1 pitch. I mean, Podsednik's a guy you've got to challenge and make him hit the ball. As you said, Lou, with the high leg kick, look for him to run.
That could be part of the discussion right now between Black, Escobar, and Benji Molina.
But Sednick working the ground around first base, trying to get some footing so he can run.
Podsednik last night stole 2.
Here's where the second hitter in the lineup, Iguchi, got to have some patience and allow Podsednik to run if he chooses to.
We should see a lot of this.
You might even see a pitch out in this sequence.
Sednick trying to measure Kelvin Escobar. Against Escobar, opponents were successful 5 of 8 times trying to steal. during the regular season. Fastball misses inside.
I think Escobar's best defense, outside of the pitch out obviously, is holding the ball and ruining the base runner's timing. With Tim Raines over there helping these base runners, what a base stealer he was.
Pretty big lead by Podsednik, who at one point last night, like he was thrown out, picked off, but the safe call was given by Ed Rapuano. Then a stolen base followed, and Podsednik scored a run. He has a big lead at first. He's going. They pitch out. Molina's throw. Backed up by Kennedy, and even with the pitch out, Scott Podsednik steals second, and there's the go-ahead run with only one out in the seventh.
Pitch out is right there, but a very poor throw by a guy who can throw well, but has not thrown well in this series. He tried to rush the throw. Two things bad happened to the Angels with that play. They fall behind in the count to Iguchi 2-0, and they don't get the runner.
4 for 7 in the postseason, and now a hit could give the White Sox the lead back here in Game 5. 2-1 on Iguchi. Tadahito has 4 RBIs in this postseason, has not driven in a run in the ALCS.
Adam Kennedy and Orlando Cabrera talking things over at second base. Remember, we said last night Podsednik had stolen third base 18 of 19 times this year.
They're trying to keep him close.
Yeah.
The 2-1 on the inside corner, 2-2. On deck is Jermaine Dye. You can see why Iguchi didn't like that call. Go ahead run at second, 1 out. Top of the 7th, and Iguchi takes inside. It's 3-2.
He's really working Iguchi hard in on his hands.
El Duque still getting loose in the bullpen for Chicago. The 3-2 pitch. Iguchi strikes out. 2 down.
Now that's a very difficult pitch to hit after you've had 3 or 4 93, 94 miles an hour fastballs in on your hands.
Splitter going straight down.
The illusion of the strike.
So Iguchi is gone, and now it's Dye, who's had a nice night. 2 out of 3, including a 2-out RBI double back in the 5th to score Uribe and put the White Sox out in front. The Angels got 2 in the bottom of the 5th to take their first lead since Game 1.
With 2 outs now, I wouldn't be too concerned about holding the base runner. I'd be holding my position if I were an infielder. In fact, if he stole third, I wouldn't even throw. I'd just hold the ball, make sure that my third baseman could field a ground ball if it's hit that way.
0-1 the count on Dye. A pop-up back behind the plate, out of play, strike 2.
How many times, Timmy, have you seen a base runner stealing third? Third baseman covers the bag. Ground ball goes right through the third base hole.
That's what Tony La Russa did not do in the first game of the League Division Series, and it paid off for him with Edward Nunez at third base.
The 0-2. Dives, strikes out. And the tag to end the inning. Joe Crede ties it in the 7th. Takes Escobar deep. 3-3. Game 5. Time to stretch. Our Nissan game summary. 3-3, bottom of the 7th inning now. Contreras and Bird, the 2 starters. Contreras still out there. Crede just tied it in the top of the 7th with a solo shot. Figgins scored his first run of this series in a 2-run 5th inning. And Guerrero still struggling now, 1 for 19. Our Pepsi fan cam with the Go-Go Sox music from 1959. And the Sox fans here in
White
Southern
Sox.
Cal.
White Sox, go, go, White Sox. Let's go, 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 White Sox. We're with you all the way. You're always in there fighting and you do your best. We're glad to have you out here in the Middle West. We're gonna root, White Sox and cheer you on to victory.
46 years ago, the last time the White Sox were in the World Series.
It sounds like 59 music, too.
2 years after Splish Splash, I think. Really? I think so. Bobby Darin. Frankie Avalon.
That year, the White Sox lost to the LA Dodgers in 6 games. And it's been talked about plenty. Last time they won it all, 1917, they defeated the Giants. So it's been 88 years. The White Sox are 1 win away from getting to the World Series. But it's 3-3, bottom of the 7th, and Juan Rivera is first up for the Angels. Then Kennedy and Figgins. Ball 1 low.
White Sox playing unusual defense with Crede and Uribe. Look how Uribe is really opening up that hole to the left. Looking for Juan Rivera to pull. Crede off the line at 3rd.
Two and 0. 87 pitches on the night for Contreras as El Duque continues to loosen for the White Sox. Rivera hit 15 home runs during the regular season. And he grounds to short right at Uribe. 1 out. And Kennedy, the number 9 man, who's been such a big part of the Angels' attack tonight, will step in. Game 5 NLCS tomorrow night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Chris Carpenter and Andy Pettitte. Astros trying to get to the World Series for the first time. Kennedy, strike 1. Talk about having a battle-tested pitcher to take the ball for you in a potential clinching game. That's what the Astros have tomorrow night with Pettitte, who has been an October star for the Yankees for so many years. Kennedy into left field. Podsednik, 2 out.
Yeah, Pettitte's been a big game pitcher.
Here's Sean Figgins, who is 1 for 2. His biggest swing of this series came in the 5th. With his team down 1. Kennedy on. They put the hit and run on, and Figgins hit it down the right field line for an RBI double. And then scored after being moved over by Cabrera on a sac fly by Anderson. That lead was erased in the home run by Crede in the top of this 7th off Escobar. Now Cliff Polite, Neil Kotz are getting loose for the White Sox. Hernandez sits down, 2-0.
I would be taken here if I were Figgins.
Contreras has walked 2. He does, and it's 2-1. The White Sox in the 8th will have Konerko, Everett, and Rowan. The heart of their lineup. That's ball 3. Figgins pops it up. Long run for Podsednik and Uribe. Neither can get there. It's a foul ball. So Figgins has a life back to the plate with a full count.
But Sednick was playing Figgins quite deep there.
Still is. Probably too deep. Again, that off-fielder for a guy with not a lot of power the other way.
Back to Contreras. The Angels go in order. This game goes to the 8th. Game 5. White Sox will bat up 3-1.